Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. If you have not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, especially if you love drugstore review and demo videos, which is what we're gonna do today. And I've been meaning to do this video for a while. It's just a lot of other things have come in the mix, and finally I'm like, okay, we got time, let's do it. Let's review the brand Ruby Kisses. I found this brand at CVS, and I feel like most CVS I've been to, I've been able to see this on there. In general, I feel like if you've watched my channel, you know that I always go to Walgreens. I'm always at Walgreens. I've been a Walgreens girl, especially living on the south side of Chicago. I feel like generally there's more Walgreens. I feel like in general there's more Walgreens. But since I moved to the north side, I've definitely been around some more CVS stores. I thought I'd take advantage of some of their products that they have that I've never been able to see. So I don't know how new. I feel like when I first picked these up, it was definitely way newer. This has been like in the spring. I know it's been a while. But I'm not sure how new this brand is to CVS or if it's just always been there. I've just, as I've said, never shopped around CVS. So to me, this is a new brand to me and my channel. And Ruby Kisses, so I picked up a bunch of different things. I've got some thoughts and I wanted to share them with you guys. So if you were interested, definitely stick around to hear what I think about their contour palette, concealers, highlights, lipsticks. Had to get more than just one variety because I have different ones. And then what else did I get? Yeah. Let's check it out. Also, I cannot find my receipt because it's been a while. It's somewhere in my little receipt box, but I will try to list the prices down below if I can find them. I was even trying to look on the CVS site and I couldn't easily find the prices on there to kind of like reference while I'm doing this. So I'll list the prices down below, but I will say that these were very cheap, very inexpensive. I was able to get a bunch and not feel like, ugh, I don't know what I just did. So very cheap, which is also why I was intrigued. The first product that I want to talk about is their Dear Diary series, A Daily Life. This is the Unlock Your Story eyeshadow palette, and of course had to try out an eyeshadow palette, very inexpensive, and I picked up like a nice little neutrals one. This is a really cute size palette. Now the shadows, I normally, whenever I see like shimmery shades, in general I feel like shimmery shades, Drugstore does shimmery shades better than a matte shade. So I was like, okay, normally shimmer shades, like you can make them work. The shimmery shade on this palette, I tried like 2 of them and I was just kind of like, I'm done. I feel like it was definitely very hard to work with. A lot of times for like shimmery shades in a drugstore eyeshadow palette, even with just a regular brush, like I can get something out of it by just dipping straight into the shadow and onto my eye. I feel like it was barely anything. Like I would rate it a 2 out of 10 if I had to, if it was just my brush and the shimmery shade. What I did do normally, and what I'll always you know kind of do with shimmery shades, just to give them a little oomph, a little pop, I will spray my brush with like some setting spray, some Fix Plus, anything of your choice, and that'll help enhance it. I think it helped a little bit. I would give it maybe a 4 out of 10, and that's being a little bit generous. But I feel like even with having sprayed my brush with some Max Fix Plus by wetting it and then putting it onto my eye, I feel like I still had to really like pat that onto my eye, almost kind of like pat and drag just to kind of get anything. Like I could feel myself trying to get something and then even trying to like maybe dig into the eyeshadow a little bit just so we can get something. While doing that, whether it was without Fix Plus, whether it was like really patting dry, I feel like in general I got fallout. And then even by the time I was done with my eyeshadow, I feel like the rest of the product that I did manage to get on my lid just kind of fell off. There was no shimmer. It's just very bland. So I was like, okay, shimmer shade's not the best. I did like that they did try to incorporate 2 matte shades. However, I wish they would have had a couple more for a little bit more of a transition, because I was like, honestly, I was like, okay, I can use this for brow bone or for my lid if I wanted to do a matte lid. And then this is a really pretty transition shade. Where's the rest? The rest are a like shimmery, and then the other 2 matte shades is a dark brown and a dark black. How can I go from a peach to a dark brown? Like I did it. but I needed something in between. So actually what I liked a lot and what I did, I was like, well, let's keep using this brand and check it out. And I'll talk about this a little bit more. I went into the highlight and contour palette and I used a shade there to kind of give me that in-between transition, and I could have used another one, than darkest one for another, but I didn't. I just at least used one and I was like, okay, let's go in with the dark brown. The dark brown shade that I used in my crease, I think it was okay. It was definitely a drier matte. And I feel like from that experience, I was like, I really don't need to go into the black to kind of find out how it's going to be. I'm really just kind of very underwhelmed by this eyeshadow palette. I would not recommend. I feel like there's some other eyeshadow palettes, and I can't remember the price. It wasn't that expensive, but you know, also wasn't like $1. But I've tried some other eyeshadow palettes recently. I've been doing the PROFUSION eyeshadow palette tutorials for $10, 21 shades, all amazing. This, I'm just like, come on, this is supposed to be cheap. That PROFUSION is still a cheap palette, and that is just mind-blowing. This one is just like, I want my money back type of a palette. I'd give it a 4, maybe 4 out of 10. Like, that's pretty low. Like, I don't think I've ever rated a palette that low or really disliked a palette that much. The next two products are concealers. I had to try out the concealers. I love testing out concealers, and I actually picked up 2 because, like I said, very inexpensive, so might as well. And I was like, did I pick up a lighter one and a darker one? I was swatching my hand to see which one's which, and I was like, one of these looks really orange, and that's how long it's been. I forgot. I picked up a peach corrector and a regular concealer. The regular concealer I picked up in the shade Light Tan and peach corrector. So I went in with the peach corrector first and, you know, put that underneath my eyes just where I have like my dark circles, and blended that out with a beauty blender like I would normally do, and I feel like it didn't do much. Didn't do that much. I feel like it just felt like another lighter concealer with kind of an orange shade to it. I could still kind of see that darkness. It was like almost trying to be like a brightening corrector in a way. Just like made my under eyes kind of glow a little bit more illuminated type of a thing. So as a corrector, I'm just kind of like, should have just gone in with my concealer. I think that would have been better. For the concealer, and I'll go into the formula in general, I went in with this concealer, and in general to talk about the formula of both concealers, I feel like it's definitely a thicker formula. It comes in that squeezy tube. I've used squeezy tube type of concealers. I love that LA Girl, their Pro HD concealer. I love it so much. It also has a brush tip, and I generally enjoy those. I've used a bunch of brush tip concealers, but I feel like the formula is maybe a little bit too thick. It's not the easiest to blend. It's not terrible to blend, but it's just, you really have to kind of, you know, work it in there. Just kind of like patting it on. It's just so thick. You really have to pat it in and just work it in. Work with it a little bit more. So it's not seamless. It's not creamy. It's thick. So definitely, you know, I'm glad I didn't go ham with it. I definitely try to get it on and spread it and then kind of blend away. I did not notice like intense creasing. But once again, I feel like it's not that pigmented, it's not that potent, it doesn't do much. I would need to go in with maybe one of my other favorite peach correctors and then this to kind of get some coverage with it type of a deal. So maybe if you don't have dark circles, you might like this, but once again, the blendability of it, not my favorite. The next product I want to talk about is the 3D Contour Artist Palette. Highlight and contour palettes, I've definitely tried some really great inexpensive ones. So I saw this and I had to try it out. This one, I think they have 2 different shades maybe. I think this is like the, yeah, light medium, and then they have a medium dark or deep. I'm not sure what they're calling it. But I got the light / medium, which I like that they do have 2 options. Couple things about this. So I use like a mixture of the yellow and kind of like this lighter beige color. I mix them and use that to set my concealer. It was very finely milled, but I feel like sometimes if you know, go in with a kind of highlighting matte under eye highlighting powder, I feel like in my experience, the ones I have used, they still give me some sort of pigmentation. They give me some sort of brightening effect. I feel like I was just using a powder, you know, like a very lightweight powder underneath my eyes. So I was just kind of like, oh, thanks for helping me set my concealer. I guess. You know, I'm like looking at my eyes, but yeah, it didn't do much else. So unless, say, my concealer was a little bit darker, you can usually go in and brighten it up with the matte under eye highlight. But if, say, like the concealer maybe was a little bit dark, you want to adjust it, you want to brighten it, this is like, with this palette, that's just the way it's going to be. You're just going to be able to set it, and that's pretty much it. What I did enjoy, the formula though is smooth. So a couple things though. So I went in with this shade right here for my contour, which for my skin tone I think worked out really well to kind of give me that shadow effect. I like the color for my skin tone right now. I'm tanner, and I think even when my tan fades, it'll still work for me. Anybody tanner than me though? I don't know. I'm not sure which color for contouring you might want to use, because this one looks way lighter, and then this one I used for like my eyelid shade that's really warm. That's almost like those like warm yellows, almost warm oranges. Like, it's a really pretty eyeshadow shade. I love it for that. For bronzing, this looks more, it's warm. For a bronzer contour, I don't know how that's gonna work. That would be way too orange, I feel like. I really liked it for my eyes though. I think that did a really great job. And then this shade right here, maybe for someone who's tanner, I don't know. It looks kind of, it's got like some red to it, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. That's the only reason why I actually did want to go into, after going to this is a transition shade for my eyelid, I wanted to go in with this darkest shade for another transition. I think for the lid, these two would have been beautiful. For my face, I don't know though. I know for my skin type, for my face, I don't know. A little bit too warm for me, a little bit too light. This shade was perfect though. The blendability was great. It was easy to apply, wasn't too pigmented. I think it was really easy to blend out. I didn't get any streakiness. I didn't get any patchiness. I liked it. I think if the formula and the pigmentation was on par with the two matte under eye shades, I would have actually really liked this palette. Maybe if these colors were adjusted. Anything, I like this palette for an eyeshadow palette. Given these colors, it's like, oh, I can work with this on my eye, so not a total waste. So if you don't like it for your face, or maybe, you know, there's a couple more ways I can use it, totally would use that shade as a contouring shade, use these two for my eyes, maybe even use these for like a lid shade. I will use it for. So I think the palette's okay. I definitely, if you guys have seen my other highlighting contour palette reviews, affordable $7 ones, $10 ones, $5 ones, I'll link those down below for you guys to check out. I think this one was okay. It was the better of the products that I tried out. So if you guys, you know, were interested, you bought it. I think, you know, if you didn't maybe like it for your face, try it for your eyes. The next product I want to talk about is the All Over Glow Highlighting Powder, and they had two different shades. I picked up this one right here because I wasn't sure which one I was gonna like. So this one, maybe more on the cooler tone side, kind of looking like I had some pinky shades on there. How about I show you the name? Champagne Glow. They got me with the name and the color. I was like, I think I could pull that off with my skin tone. It's not an awful highlight. It's okay. If you're into more holographic type highlights, I think you'll like this, because I feel like for me personally, there's maybe a little bit too much pink in it. I don't know if you guys can tell. Let me tilt my face. But it was like pinker than I thought for like a champagne shade. Let me see. And then also, I don't know, like it's not the smoothest feeling formula from the pan, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. But on the face, I can see like pink. It comes off darker on my face than it looks in the pan. It's weird. If I was going for that holographic look, yes, I would suggest this pink highlight, but I'm not. Generally, I think I should have used this for my Gemini holograms, my last tutorial. I was like, damn, that's the highlight I was looking for. Also, if you look closely, I feel like you can see the tiny, tiny little specks of glitter. So if you're not a fan of that, I feel like they need to chop them up finally just a little bit and make it a smooth application overall, starting with the actual powder. I don't know if it's one of those like, oh, scrape off the top and then it'll work type of a thing, but I don't know. Like I said, unless you want a pink highlight, I think you'll like it. tried out 3 different types of lipsticks because I couldn't just choose one. I didn't know what I want to try. So for the first traditional lipsticks, these are their matte lipsticks. So I picked up 2 shades because I really want to see, is there a difference in the shade? Because sometimes a lighter shade can apply differently than a darker shade. Just the formulation a little bit different. So I picked up the shade Brown Sugar, a nude one, and then Heartbeat, a nice burgundy shade. And these lipsticks, I would say pick them up. If you want a really cheap, affordable lipstick, you want to experiment with some colors, I like them. I had really not much of a complaint about them. Brown Sugar, which I feel like is just common of a lot of like really light nude lipsticks. It can take a couple swipes depending if you prepped your lips with concealer, depending how light you are. The color for me on its own is way too light, the Brown Sugar, but what I would generally do for these type of colors is do a lip liner and then put this color on top. That's just the way I would. I do get colors this light for that purpose, so I think just for that it just maybe took a couple more swipes just to kind of get that evenness. And then the shade Heartbeat, I like the color, the burgundy shade. I think it looks a little bit darker or deeper on camera. Maybe in person it might take a couple more swipes to kind of get that, but I mean it's nothing too crazy where I have to go up and down and around and around. Just evening it out, getting that color payoff that you want. I think you can totally do that. So the lipsticks, I thought they were okay. I really didn't have that many complaints about it for a really cheap, affordable lipstick. And also it didn't tug on my lips, which I was like, could totally happen. But it didn't. It was a smooth matte formula. Definitely not transfer proof. But if you want that type of comfortable-ish matte, then you'll like this. Then we tried out this formula. I wasn't sure what to expect. This is the Creamlicious, the Triple Butter Matte Lip Cream. It's a mango butter, shea butter, coconut butter, and it comes off in the smell of it. It's got an interesting smell. Pretty strong smell, so if you're sensitive to smells, you might not like it. But I thought this formula was interesting. The doe foot applicator is one of those that kind of has like the little hole in the middle. And the formula is interesting too. I feel like it's definitely not one of those one swipe wonder. It's supposed to be like, I don't know if it's like maybe like a velvety soft matte type of a shade. It's not matte. I don't know what to call it, but it's one of those formulas where it's like that liquid lipstick applicator, but it's really creamy, really comfortable. It just, I feel like getting it even around the lips, especially since it doesn't dry down, can get messy, can get all over the place. If you're not a fan of scents, you're not going to like this. It's just, at first I was just kind of like, is this one of those like oil lipsticks? Like what's going on here? I wasn't sure. This is, yeah, like a creamy formula. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not sure. Just because, I don't know, it's not like the liquid, is it liquid suede lipsticks from NYX? It's not like one of those. It's even like creamier. It's weird. I don't know. It's worth a shot if you're interested. I don't know where I stand with this lipstick. I don't dislike it. I just thought it was interesting. I generally, especially maybe I think it's the color that's throwing me off, because darker colors like this, I generally prefer a matte formula or just a traditional lipstick. I don't know how to go about these type of formulas. I'm afraid it's going to go all over the place, especially since it doesn't really set. I know I have like those Sephora lip stains, but those semi kind of set. This one doesn't really, so that's why I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I would wear this all the time. I feel like I'd just be too concerned. The last product is the Forever Matte Liquid Lipstick, and the packaging is what kind of lured me in, because that reminds you of something specific brand with those drips around the lipstick, so I thought that was interesting. I picked up mine in the shade Aged Rose. It's what I'm wearing on my lips. I like the color. Formula of this is not my favorite. I have some other favorites matte lipsticks out there, and I'll list that down below with a couple different swatches, but it had potential. But as I was kind of finishing putting it over my lips, I'm not a fan of the applicator for this one. I just feel like, I mean, I get it, it's a little bit cheaper, it's not going to be the best quality. It's a doe foot applicator, but I feel like it's not the most comfortable doe foot applicator, so it just kind of drag. You do kind of feel it as you're kind of rubbing it on the lips. Also doesn't pick up as much product, so I do have to kind of go in and dip and apply and dip and even out and dip and dip and dip. And I don't want to do that. But because while I'm doing that and trying to even everything out, I feel like even if you swipe around too much on the lips, it almost takes the product off because maybe it's like trying to, so it tries to dry down as you're doing that, which just makes it a little bit difficult. And as it's drying down, specifically for this video, I just feel it kind of drying my lips, kind of tightening them, shriveling them. It's not comfortable to kind of move it around. I feel it. I know it's dry. And then looking up close, I can just see that unevenness that I was just trying to do. There's some spots that are like darker than others. It's just, it's not a cute look. It's not gonna last me very long. I just feel like it's gonna crack off my lips and it's not a good look. So I would not recommend the Forever Matte Liquid lipsticks. There's definitely some other more affordable ones or just around the same price range, maybe $1 or $2 more, that are worth it. This one, not my favorite of the lipsticks. I think if you're going to try the lipsticks, I would go maybe with those traditional matte lipsticks. So I hope you guys enjoyed my, or found informative, my review and demo of the brand Ruby Kisses from CVS. That's where I've seen it. I don't know where else maybe this brand might be, but that's where I found it. And I was curious and I was kind of underwhelmed. Just kind of like, okay, damn it. I wish I would have done this earlier so I could just find my receipt and return the products. I wonder what is CVS's return policy. I don't know, but I'm just like, I could have done without these products, but my curiosity would not have let me just keep it moving. I had to know, and if you guys had to know, I hope you guys found this helpful, and check down in the description box down below for some other great raved about drugstore affordable products, starting with some of my favorites. So this will not be making that list, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I know now, so if anybody asks me, I'm like, keep it moving, girl. Go to Walgreens, find something else. I'm just kidding. There's some other great products at CVS as well, and hopefully we will find those. I did just do a review and demo of the new brand at CVS, the K-Beauty brand, JOAH Beauty. So if you guys haven't seen that I did find some good things on there. So check the description down below, and there's still some more I have to try. So let me know if you guys saw that JOAH Beauty review that I did, and if you're curious, because it had so many products, if I should do those. But let me know also if you bought anything from Ruby Kisses and maybe you found some good stuff or not. Was I not trying out the right things? I don't know, but always trying to get a variety, trying to get a feel for it, but I'm not curious enough to go back, so you'd really have to convince me to try something else. But that's what these reviews and demos are for, so we can all learn, save some money, and spend it on the right things. Let me know if you guys enjoy these videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with some more, and I'll see you guys next time.